Can we talk? Can we talk about one nasty, unfavorable outcome of alcoholism? Can we talk about alcoholism for now for the fourth time? Because that's what I want to talk about today. Only today we're going to be talking about that one very nasty, unfavorable outcome of alcoholism. And when I'm talking about alcoholism, I'm really talking about addiction. And we all should be able to relate to addiction. I mean, just try going without your first 2 cups of coffee in the morning. My name is Aimee Lumdia. I'm not a genius. I'm not a guru. But I do have a bit of experience regarding alcoholism that you might find helpful. The name of my business is Create Your Nice Day. You can find me on the web, createyourniceday.com, and on there you'll get a little taste of my collage work, a little taste of my writing, and I can promise you a little bit more of both will be coming soon. My purpose is to help people prepare for the journey of a lifetime. I want people to learn how to live life as just a series of little adventures, because that's what life is, just one little adventure followed by another little adventure. And for the last few weeks, we've been talking about alcoholism. Well, I guess I'm not done, because there's a couple more things which I would like to mention. One of which is that one really nasty, unfavorable outcome of alcoholism. But don't blame it all on me, because this started weeks ago with my meeting with one pseudo-professional woman. And this woman really managed to piss me off in a matter of minutes. Meeting with me for the first time, she shared with me her ignorance of alcoholism. With no knowledge of my background or my personal history, she gave me all of her knowledge and experience regarding alcohol. And I have no idea how many degrees this woman had, but it takes more than a bag full of papers and an iPhone to impress me. The other thing that really pissed me off, maybe even more, is just finding out how many other people that I knew kind of thought the same sort of thing. And these people are like doctors and lawyers, social workers, church secretaries, landlords, case managers, dance teachers. And I found out a lot of them had misinformation too. So I gave a little introduction, and for the last 3 weeks we've been talking about alcoholism. Whether or not alcoholism is a choice. It's not. We took the issue of the culture and social pressures there are on every young adult to drink. And we tried to decide really if anyone was having booze poured down their throat. Maybe not physically, maybe psychologically. And last week we addressed some of the real consequences of drinking and how it alters your life a little at a time until you can hardly recognize your life at all. So this weekend we're going to be talking about the one really nasty, unfavorable outcome of alcoholism. And if you haven't already figured it out, the one nasty, unfavorable outcome I'm talking about is death. I'm going to be talking about some of the people that I've lost as a result of addiction. In this picture that was actually put in the paper is the guy that I refer to as the king of the open door mission. This was the first guy that I had really met and that I had gotten to know who had died. His name was Mike, and he lived in a homeless shelter, but he had the best weed that I had ever smoked. And he rode a bicycle to do painting jobs, and that's how he made a little money on the side. And he had a story to tell. He had come from a wealthy family, and then he had met a girlfriend of his dreams and thought that he was going to marry her. And then as a result of some bad events, they broke up, but when they broke up, he ended up going and getting hammered and making a huge, huge scene. The results of which forced him to leave the city and to live now as kind of like a homeless person in a shelter, because he didn't even think he could ever go back. But he still managed to work. He pretty much ran away because he really felt like he couldn't go home. and he could never get over the fact that he could never go home. The second person, this is a picture of my brother. My brother died from pancreatic cancer, and he drank all of his life. And he was homeless for a large part of his life. But even while he was homeless, he still managed to work. He still managed to pay child support for 3 children. His wife, who was a lawyer, was married also to another lawyer. And they lived on a horse farm. But they took his money every month. The third person is Vanessa. I met her in an outpatient program, and that woman was absolutely awesome. She's one of those people that just shines, even when she walks into a dark room. The last weekend she was alive, she had taken her kids camping. And then she came home, bought a bag of dope from her cousin, shot up on the bed, and when she stood up, she bumped her head, and then she died. This is Jessica. Jessica was a beautiful, wonderful woman, and I met her in jail. And she is everything that you would imagine that a kindergarten teacher would be like. But she was a stripper. And the first time she told me that, I thought she was joking with me. Her mom was a heroin addict, and her father sexually abused her. And she had been a stripper since she was 16 years old. She OD'd on heroin. This is a picture of my daughter. She died in 2015. She was 27 years old. And the story goes she got drunk and fell down. But there's still some questions regarding her death. Her husband was there. Did he push her? Because Amelia ended up in a coma. And when she came out of the coma, the hospital medicated her. And they were willing to give her 2 weeks to see if her body would heal. But her husband had that health proxy, and he took her off life support, behind my back. As I was calling lawyers, he was calling the doctors. Her death was scheduled for 2 p.m., and they pulled her plug at 9 a.m. They had a history of domestic violence. And there's an endless list. I mean, I could keep going. Tony, my son's godmother, died of cirrhosis of the liver. Catherine died waiting for a new liver. Steve, he sold weed until the day he died, but he had major health concerns as a result of living a using lifestyle. I just went to a memorial service of a young 19-year-old girl, a member of my mother's church, a result of addiction. When I was younger, those kind of stories never scared me. But the older I get, I realize how precious life is and how quickly we can lose our chance to be a part of it all. You know what? Addiction is no joke. And there really is help. But I wouldn't go there alone. And that's what next week's video is going to address. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for watching this video. And God bless you. If you don't believe in God, it's okay. Just keep asking Him to bless you until you do. Have a good week.